Based on the email that I got, this person actually pleaded that I talk about this. How did I discover that I am spiritually gifted? Okay, so me discovering my spiritual gift, or let me say my spiritual journey, didn't start now that I am an adult. Didn't start now. From the time when I was in primary school, that is when, as a little child, I didn't know what was wrong. But whenever I see something and I will tell my parents of what I saw, I will tell my siblings of what I saw, they will pick offense. They'll get angry. Sometimes they flog me. So I remember when I was in primary 2, yes, primary 1, primary 2, we moved into a new house without knowing that the house was haunted. And on the very day we were moving into that house, the day we were bringing in our luggages, I and my younger sister carried a mattress and we went into the moment we got inside that house, the mattress turned into a hand and started strangling myself and my younger sister. And we kept on struggling, shouting, calling for help. When my elder brother surfaced, the mattress turned into a mattress immediately, no longer a hand, no longer strangling us. It became a mattress. And I told him what I saw, that the mattress turned into a hand and was strangling us, and he got mad. He flogged us very well that very day. But it didn't end there. And as time goes on, as days goes by, when we were living in that house, playing with the toys that we had, we didn't know that the toys were possessed. And because we were giving power to the toy, without knowing that I equally have powers on my own, and I was transferring my energy into the toy, and I was commanding the toy that I want that toy, a Pinocchio toy, that I want the toy to act as a leader in our house, to be the head of the family, to carry out every action in our home. Until one very day, when we brought out the toy, and I gave the toy a cane, and I told the toy to look at my dad's picture. I introduced my dad to the toy, and I told the toy that this is my father, that he is the head of this house, and that I want that toy, I want it to bow down to my father. Without that, the toy has already been possessed, and the toy picked offense, looked at my father the way I positioned it. The next thing I saw was my dad's picture falling down from there and crashing to the floor. The picture smashed into pieces. So when my dad heard what happened, he didn't say anything. What I did was to destroy that toy and throw it away. And it continued this way. Even when I was in primary school, there was a night I was playing outside with my younger sister. And it was around 10 p.m. We were not supposed to be outside by that time, but you know children. We sneaked out and we went outside to play. And around that time, that 10 p.m., my younger sister decided to go inside the house, but I decided to stay behind to play more. And then something happened. I was swinging on a canopy, and before you know it, my hand slipped off and I fell. I was about hitting my head on an iron that was there, and if I hit my head there, that would be the end of me. But something strange happened. The moment I was about to hit my head on that iron, I saw a being. I can't tell if that being is a man or a woman, but I saw a hand. The hand just, stretched out, and I fell into that hand. And that hand carried me and placed me on the ground. And I stood up to thank the person. Lo and behold, I was the only person there. There was nobody there. Nobody at all except me. So out of fear, I just ran inside the house, and I didn't utter a word to anybody. I kept this to myself until I became an adult. And it still continued that way. When I was in secondary school, that was when I had so much passion for God. I became so much interested in everything that concerns God. I will not call myself a born-again Christian. I am not a born-again Christian at all. But I have this passion for God. Like, whenever the name of God is mentioned, I feel so passionate about it. It feels so personal, like you are calling my sibling or you are calling my father. I developed interest in God when I was in secondary school. And it got to a point that one day we went to church, evening mass as Catholics, and then after the evening mass, the priest called everybody and prayed for us and asked us to go home because the church was still a new church, the buildings were still going on, the construction, and he asked us to go home. But I didn't know what happened. It looked as if a force was luring me to somewhere within that church premises. And I left where everybody was and I followed that force. So I got to somewhere where the construction was taking place. The pillars of the church were being, they have already dug the hole where the pillars of the church will be mounted. And whatever happened, I can't tell, but the next thing I noticed was I fell inside that hole, one of the holes. And this hole was is deeper than 6 feet. When I fell inside that hole, I started calling on anybody for help. I started calling on my sister. I started shouting, but no one heard me. And it's not possible for anybody to hear me. It was already dark and people were going home. My sister told me that she got worried when she didn't see me and she started searching for me. Meanwhile, I was inside that hole calling for help, but nobody heard me. Then something strange happened. And what was that? I just saw a hand. Not any human being's hand, just a hand without head, without shoulder, without body, just a hand. The hand stretched down into the hole. And I lifted my hand up and grabbed that hand, and that hand brought me out on the flat surface. And so I turned to thank the person, and I discovered I was alone. There was nobody there with me except me. So I started running, and I met my sister. I told her what happened, and we agreed to seal it, not to tell anybody. And I kept this thing all to myself until I became an adult. And I remember after my secondary school, because my life continued this way. I remember after my secondary school, immediately after my senior WAEC exam, I fell sick. Seriously sick. We went to hospital, but the hospital did their best. But it looked as if their best wasn't good enough. Until one day, I lay down on the bed in the afternoon and I slept off without knowing that I actually passed. But then I saw myself in a place I will call a village setting with a lot of people, men, women, children, youths. And in that place, I saw my grandmother. But before I got to that place, I crossed like desert, I crossed ocean, I crossed forest, thick forest before I got there. And when my grandmother saw me, she asked me what I was doing there. I told her that I was too tired and that I've been looking for somewhere to sleep. And my grandmother told me that I cannot stay there, that that place is not meant for me. So when I tried to argue with her, she decided to chase me away from that community. So when I started running, I had to cross that forest again, cross the ocean, cross the desert. And the moment I crossed that desert, I got inside the bedroom where I was sleeping. And that was when I opened my eyes. So when I opened my eyes, I noticed that my mom was sitting closely beside me, praying her rosary. So when I opened my eyes and looked at her, she looked at me and she said, "Welcome back." So when she said that "welcome back," I was kind of like shocked. And I asked her, Mom, what do you mean? She said, I noticed that you are no longer here with us, but I decided not to make noise. So she started praying. Probably that prayer was what brought me back. And it didn't end there. When I got into the university, that was when this whole drama started. It became so obvious that something was actually wrong with me. Whoever that makes me cry must definitely cry, one way or another. Whoever that doesn't want me must go out of the way, anyhow. Whoever that plans evil for me must be visited by evil. And it was during my university days that I started noticing of this particular being that follows me about every now and then. But I ignored this being completely because as at that time, I don't want to associate myself with anything like spirituality. I only preferred my normal prayers. So I ignored this being completely. Despite ignoring this being kept on revealing secrets, kept on fighting my battles, kept on being present in my life every day until I got married. So when I got married, that was when this being came out openly to tell me that he is my guardian angel. And this being revealed to me everything that I will pass through in life as a married woman. The good side and the bad side. The spiritual battles that I will face in life. This being revealed everything to me. But the assurance he gave me was that God is aware of everything and that God will continue to be with me as long as I maintain being with God, as long as I keep on worshiping him. And it has been that way. So as days goes by, already I have noticed that, okay, so this is how my life is now. Now this being decided to be coming out openly. That's my guardian angel, teaching me a lot of spiritual works. The first time he taught me these spiritual works, I thought it was a joke. Because I'm going to be honest with us. I am one of those people that criticizes those who practice these spiritual exercises. I am one of them. I am one of those who criticizes people that praise too much, more especially people that praise in tongues. I am one of them. I despise them so much. I call them names. I make mockery of them. Because my life was just say your morning prayer, say your night prayer. That's it. So when he started teaching me all these things, it was like a joke to me. I thought it was a joke, and I overlooked all those things. But this being kept on. At a point, God started using a lot of people to talk to me. I will meet a stranger today, and during discussion, the stranger will tell me, if you do not answer your call, you are going to fall sick. You will not die out of that sickness, but you will be taken around so many hospitals. Even when I went to the village, I still received the same message. If you don't answer your call, you will fall sick and you will be taken around so many hospitals. This message kept on coming from a lot of people until one day I fell sick and I went to hospital. I was the only person in the hospital. My children were not there. My husband wasn't there. My siblings weren't there. There was nobody to take care of me. Due to the situation of things, I was the only person in that hospital. And I was actually dying. But in that condition, I managed to say a little prayer. And I told God that if he saves me from that sickness, that I'm going to answer my call and do whatever he asks me to do. And after saying that, I said that prayer in the morning. By 1:30 in the afternoon, the sickness just vanished. Like when the doctors came in, they were surprised. They asked me what happened. How did I just recover so fast? I couldn't tell. But then they discharged me that day. And that was how I decided to answer my call. Now, how did I answer this call? Because we always talk about answering calls, answering calls, answering calls. How do you answer that call? Now, this is what I did. For those who are spiritually gifted, but they do not know, or you know, and you do not know how you are going to start, this is what I did. When I recovered fully from that sickness, and I decided to come out openly to let the world know that this is who I am. There's no point hiding. It wasn't easy for me. At first, the first negative words that I received actually came from my family, from my siblings. Not all of them believed me. They thought I was joking, they thought I was lying, but I kept on. So how did I answer my call? Every day, whenever I pray, I will tell God that I am now ready, that I'm waiting for Him. Every day, I will remind Him that I'm waiting for Him, that I've answered my call, and that I want Him to send me that message, whatever message it is, let Him send me, that I'm ready to go. And this message, this prayer continued until one day, after my night prayer, I saw my guardian angel again, and he appeared. And that what gave me the first assignment. He gave me the first assignment on what to do so that there is something going on in our family which nobody can tell how that thing happened. But this thing has lingered for years. And so he told me what exactly to do. And after doing it, I am going to see the origin of that problem. And I did that, and it was revealed. And when he told me to do this, it wasn't convenient for me, but I had no choice. He told me that I'm going to do this by 5 p.m. in the evening. And I am a civil servant that goes to work, that is supposed to leave office by 4, and supposed to get home before that 5 p.m. And I had to do it. I had no choice. And I'm supposed to do it without eating anything. So in the morning while leaving home, I didn't eat. I waited until that 5 p.m. and I practiced that. And it lasted for like 2 hours. So my eating food was around that 7 p.m. But then I got the result. And that was how it started. When God wants me to do anything, He will send that my guardian angel. Sometimes my guardian angel will come and the message He will give to me will look like it's not real. It's not possible. I am a Christian. I go to church. How can you be telling me to use clay, use sand, use alligator pepper? There was one time I told him during my prayers that all these things you are telling me to use, that is what the native doctors uses. And he told me that all those things were created by God and not the native doctors. And told me how to use all these things from time to time. Even my coming over here, as a matter of fact, when we are relocating here, I told my siblings that maybe when I come here, I am going to have a good rest, that I'm going to rest from spirituality, that I'm going to take a break and get myself, that I want a simple lifestyle, forgetting that God is everywhere. He's still the same God. And we got here. 3 days after we got here, my guardian angel still appeared and still told me what I am to practice. And I didn't practice it because where we are staying now is a family house. So it's not something that I want to practice in a family house. I want to practice it in my own house. But then I didn't do it because I was waiting for my own house. Until my father appeared. My father is late, my mother is late, until both of them appeared after two days and asked me, have I practiced what I was told to practice? And I said no. They said I should go ahead and practice it. So I had no choice but to do it. So for those who are confused, for the person that sent the message asking me to explain how I got to know that I am spiritually gifted, my gift started right from babyhood, yes. But I got to realize it while I was growing up. As a child, I couldn't tell what was actually going on, but something was actually going on with me. As an adult, I noticed that something weird is wrong with me. But then, when I got married, that was when my eyes opened. And I decided to make use of that gift positively. So many of us, when you discover that you are gifted spiritually, the next thing that comes to your mind is to punish those who have been punishing you, to deal with those who have been dealing with you, to cause problems for those who have been causing problems for you. If you are truly gifted spiritually, such things will not come to your mind because you already know that there is a powerful God who is fighting your battle. You already know that God has positioned an angel, a guardian angel, to fight for you, to guide you, to guard you, to protect you. These are the works of our guardian angels. To make sure that you do not fall, to lift you when you fall, to help you in your difficult situation. So when you are spiritually gifted and you are confused, but you know that there is something that you can do which no other person can do spiritually, if you have ever discovered it, or maybe you are the type that whenever you go to bed, whatsoever you see in your dream must surely come to pass, you are spiritually gifted. If you are the type that whatsoever that comes out from your mouth must be fulfilled, you are spiritually gifted. It is not limited to those who can see with their spiritual eyes, to those who can pray, to those who can heal, to those who can prophesy. It is not limited to these people. We are all gifted in so many different ways, and you are expected to make use of that your gift, not just for yourself, but for humanity, to save mankind. When you are spiritually gifted, do not expect that your life will be rosy. I will be honest with you. Your life, the journey of your life will not be rosy for you. That is one thing we are facing. If you are spiritually gifted, you are going to face a lot of battles, spiritual battles, physical battles. Why? Yeah, because these battles are emanating from the pit of hell. And it is because of that gift that you have. They are actually seeing that being in you, not you. And so they are fighting that being in you and thereby fighting you. If they can destroy that being in you, it means they can destroy you. So that you have a spiritual gift doesn't mean that you will not suffer. No, we suffer the most. We suffer the most. But when it seems like all hope is lost, at that point that if care is not taken, you will question God. When it gets to that point, that is when you will see God intervene. And when he intervenes, he will clear all roads for you, that you will no longer remember what you have passed through. Our spiritual gifts attracts most of the time negative forces for us. It attracts negative energies. So for those who are spiritually gifted, maybe you do not know, but you have noticed that where others go and succeed, you will not succeed. Anything that others do and go scot-free, you will never go scot-free. Others will just say a little prayer and they will get what they want. You will say midnight prayer for 1 month and you will still not get what you want. And you think your problem is man-made, you think your problem is village people. No. Your problem is not man-made. Your problem is not your village people. Your problem is because you haven't discovered who you truly are. Even if you discover who you truly are, you are expected to use that your gift to help yourself. And for you to help yourself with that your spiritual gift, you will have to involve your guardian angel. That is why they are there. So many of us do not believe in these angels. Angels are God's messengers. If you do not know it now. They are God's messengers. He sends them on an errand. He sends them to help us. But these angels will not do that thing for you if you do not ask them to do it. Their mission is to watch over you. When you are about to fall, they will tell you, do not go this way, you are about to fall. If you overlook that warning, you go there, you will fall. And when you fall, they will not lift you until you ask them to lift you, and they will lift you. So many of all of us, we all have guardian angels, but majority of us do not care. But some of us have these powerful angels. I call them the warriors. Most of the time, these warrior angels do not need your permission to do what they're supposed to do for you. As long as God has asked them to do it, as long as He has instructed them to do it. And these warriors, most of the times, are positioned to guard those who are spiritually gifted, because God knows that the battle you will face in life is greater than you. And so He assigns these warriors to those who are spiritually gifted. So if you do not recognize your guardian angel, it will be so difficult for you. Yes, it will be difficult for you. We have them all around us. All around us. I have said this before. For those who are spiritually gifted and who do not know that they are spiritually gifted, those who are confused, we call them the confused set. You are confused. Anytime you are alone in a quiet place, you hear someone calling your name. Even if you answer, you will discover that nobody is calling you. It is your guardian angel that is calling you. And whenever you hear such thing, it means you are expected to be at alert. When I mean being at alert, I mean being in a prayer mood. It means you are going to see something, or something is going to happen. Whenever you are lonely, morning, night, afternoon, all of a sudden you hear your name, somebody calls you. When you answer, you discover you are the only person. If this thing is happening to you, you are spiritually gifted. So whenever you hear your name, all you need to do is to go into prayers immediately. Don't wait for nightfall, or don't wait until you get home. You can just say a little prayer wherever you are and tell the being calling you. You give commanding words. If you don't know it now. You give commanding words. If you are of God, let something like this happen. Yes. You know, people believe that such things no longer happen, but it's not true. It happens. I'm going to tell us last week. Last week, I woke up around 1 a.m. and I decided to pray. And after my prayers, I became depressed immediately without knowing what was the problem. So in that mood, I started talking to God. I started asking God, did you truly call me? I told Him to show me, give me a sign. I want to know. I really want to know if you have called me, even though I have seen your work in my life. And at a point, I gave God the example of what I want as a sign from Him. And I told Him to show me a problem and show me the solution. And then that I want to receive a phone call very early in the morning. That was what I told God. To show me a problem, to show me the solution, and allow me to receive a phone call very early in the morning. So after talking to God, I went to bed. By some minutes past 3 in the morning, my phone started ringing. And I picked up my call by that time. And I heard the voice of a guy in Nigeria, my spiritual director. And he asked me, did I not see his message? I said no. And for real, there was no message. He said, okay, did my sister call me? I said no. He said that he called my sister and asked my sister to call me. I said, okay, I haven't received any call from my sister. I told him this is some minutes past 3 in the morning. We are still sleeping. He said, okay. He told me that there is a problem. I said, okay, what's the problem? He told me what the problem is. And I said, okay, so how are we going to solve it? He told me the solution. And this is something that I am supposed to do. And so I thanked him and I went ahead and did it. So by morning, I was so grateful to God. I was so grateful that He is still that same God of yesterday. He is still the same God that was with me back in Nigeria. I thought that coming over here will mean that everything will now fall apart, but it's still that same God. So if you are spiritually gifted and you are not so sure, you are seeing things, so many things are happening around you, but you are not so sure and you want to be sure, please tell God. I call it challenging. You challenge God. That is how I put it. Challenge God. Let him prove to you that he is that God that is calling you. Give him something to use as a sign. Our God loves challenges. If you do not know it now. He loves challenges. Whatsoever you give him as a challenge, he's going to conquer that thing just to prove to you that he is God and that he called you. So for those who are confused, this is the reason why I decided to tell you people how I got to know that I'm spiritually gifted. If you are gifted but you are still confused, you haven't even answered your call, you don't even know if you are gifted or not, but a lot of strange things are happening around you. Please, the time is now. Ask God for something. Tell him what you truly want. Tell him that you are ready to answer your call. Let him show you the way. Because most times, those who are spiritually gifted do not know how to start and where to start. Tell him to show you where he has channeled you to. Because when he calls us, he doesn't just call you and, yeah, that's it. No. If he calls you, he's going to channel you. This is what you are going to do for me. But you know the problem? Everybody believes that if you are not a priest, if you are not a pastor, if you are not a minister, if you are not an evangelist, then your gift is not from God. That is brainwashing. God doesn't speak only English. God doesn't hear only English. He speaks different languages and he hears and understands every language because he is actually the one that gave us all these languages. He allowed them. So that you are not called to be a pastor, a minister, evangelist, doesn't mean that your calling is not of God. The problem we are having is, how are you making use of that your gifts? Most of the times we use them negatively. When God calls you to make use of nature, to make use of roots and herbs, to heal, to prepare drugs for people, for healing, that those who are seeking for the fruit of the womb will drink it and then it will correct their hormones and they will they will get pregnant and have babies. That God has gifted you to heal a lot of sicknesses using roots and herbs. Now, because you have that spiritual power that you can command these roots and herbs and they will work for healing, you can equally command them to poison someone. Now, instead of using it to heal, you are using it the negative way to poison people. The problem is us. Everything that God made in this world is beautiful. Every power he gave to us is beautiful. How are we using that power? Maybe you are spiritually gifted, but you don't know, but you have noticed that whenever you curse someone, the person remains cursed. You have noticed that whenever you swear for anybody, it will be so upon that person. If you have ever noticed this thing around you, you are truly called. Now, the best thing for you to do is to enlarge that your gift. Make that your gift to come out openly. Instead of using it the negative way, use it the positive way. I remember this thing happened in the year 2022. I didn't know that there was something that was actually going on behind me in my place of work. But then my guardian angel appeared and told me that when I go to work the following day, I should tell my colleagues who are always with me to be careful, that anyone amongst them that plans evil for me or that makes me to cry, that will cause pain upon me, that whether I notice it or not, that he is going to bring that person down. I was shocked when I received that message and I didn't know how to tell my colleagues about that. It looks so somehow. But then I went to work that morning and I went to those closer to me and I told them, this is what my guardian angel said to me. And I can't really tell the reason why he said that. I told them, please, if there is anything you people are doing behind me that is not good, please stop it. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that we are all colleagues. We are all good to each other. We all help each other. But I don't know if there is anyone going behind me to harm me, to hurt me, to displace me. I can't really tell. And they all swore with their life that they have never, ever, ever thought of something like that. And then we all continued our lives, our normal lives, until one day when one of them came and opened up to me and told me what the other person said. That actually the other person was bitter when I gave that message. That she was so angry, she was shouting that who do I think I am? And what happened? That person is no more. Will you say that I am the one behind her death? No. No. Whatever that happened, I don't know. It's not my business. I don't know. But if you have noticed that something like this happens to you, whoever that makes you cry will cry. Whoever that wants you down will go down. Whoever that disturbs you will be disturbed. If you have ever noticed this, you are spiritually gifted. So you don't have to be confused. Because sometimes when these things happen to us, you see people by your side telling you that you are a witch, that you are a wizard, that you are using your witchy power to fight people. It is not anything, it has nothing to do with witchcraft. It is your guardian angel that is fighting for you, because your guardian angel will not watch people bring you down. You have a mission to accomplish. God actually brought you into this world for you to work for him. And so he will not allow you to go down untimely when you are not done with that assignment. So for those of us who are being called witches, if you know that deep inside your heart that you are not practicing any witchcraft, but you know that people always call you a witch because of the things happening around you. No, all you need to do is to ask God to show you what is actually wrong. Let him tell you anything that he wants to tell you as it has to do with you. A lot of people who are spiritually gifted has been tagged so many negative names. And there are so many of us, like for those who have these gifts that, people now call Ezenwani. I'm going to tell us about these people. Not every other person, because we have bastardized that calling, Ezenwani. We have bastardized it. Every woman now is an Ezenwani. Every lady wants to be an Ezenwani. Everybody is now practicing the Ezenwani practice. No, but there are those who are called for that thing. And they can never use their power negatively. There are those who are called for that thing, but they are very simple in nature. And you will never see them behaving like that as a Ezenwani. You will never see them tying white and red and putting on cowries and this and this and that. They are just the normal people that you know. But that being behind them is actually that as a Ezenwani. And these people, when you ever cross their line, you will regret ever knowing them in life. These people will never come out openly to attack you. These people will never think of anything negative for you. These people will never block your way. But the being in them will fight their battle to the last. If you have such a friend in your life, avoid that person. It is better you stay away from that person than for you to become so close to the person, and at the end of the day, you will cause pain upon this person. If you cause pain upon this person, you are going to suffer. Have you seen, okay, now I'm going to use this as an example. I'm talking on Ezenwani right now. So many of them are just married women or single girls. So many of them are married women or single girls. And in their husband's house, these people that are gifted with this Ezenwani thing, they are always humble in their husband's house. they obey their husbands to the last. But if the man ever in his life makes the mistake of causing tears to fall from their eyes, or putting them in so much pressure, in so much pain, when they decide to leave you, they have left you. Their body has left you, but that spirit will continue to fight you to the last, or until you apologize. And when these women leaves their husband, it will look as if they're left with every good thing that the man has. It will look as if they grabbed everything that the man has, every good thing, and they will leave the man with a lot of negativity. It is not them that is doing it. It is the spirit in them that is fighting their battle. And then people will tag these women evil. They have come into this man's life. They have brought this man down. They have brought him so low. This man can no longer rise up. This man is now suffering, all because he married a witch, or because he married an evil woman. No. The man misfired. The man was actually fighting the being in that woman, not the woman. The man actually wanted to bring that being down, not the woman. And you know, these beings, I've told us this thing before, they do not, there is nothing like, let me bribe them. No. If they are positioned to watch over Nneka, it is in Nneka that they know. No matter what you are passing through, it is in Nneka that they know. If you cause a Nneka to cry, no matter who you are, they will make you cry. So some of these Ezenwanyis are in their husband's home. And I want to tell us the truth. Majority of these Ezenwanyis in their husband's home are not finding life easy. They are not finding it easy. Do you know why? Yeah, the reason is because they were actually called spiritually to do something. But they have chosen to keep their gift inside their boxes, to stay under their husband and become humble, just become an ordinary woman, just like that. And because they are not making use of those gifts, a lot of negative energies will be coming to them. And they cannot fight these energies because they are not making use of their gifts. That is why you see a lot of women, they will go into marriage and before you know it, they divorce. The marriage will crash and they're out. They'll go into another marriage and they'll divorce and out. And it will keep on like this, and people will tell them that you are a witch, you are a wizard. Majority of them are spiritually gifted, and they don't want to make use of that gift. And that is why they are having a lot of problems. And so many of them, if care is not taken, they will keep on divorcing, keep on marrying, keep on divorcing. That's it. At a point, they get tired. So if you are called towards that Ezenwanyi part, for those people who believe that being Ezenwanyi is you having the power to deal with your enemies, not true. You are not actually using your powers the right way. You are using it the wrong way. Nobody who is blessed spiritually with a spiritual gift, you are not supposed to use that your powers negatively. No. There is a being that has been assigned to you that is watching over you. It is the duty of that being to fight your battle, not you fighting your battle by yourself. That is where we always get it wrong. When someone challenges you, I will use myself as an example. Whenever anybody challenges me, a lot of people do come out openly and they point finger at me. And the mistake you will make in your life is to point finger at me and tell me, you see you, I will deal with you. If you make that statement, I will smile. That is what I normally do. I will smile and I will say, okay. Before night falls, I am on my knees and I will call God and I will tell God that this person told me that he is going to deal with me. Send my guardian angel. Whatever that happens to you is none of my business. I didn't do it. There is a being that is watching over me. There is a being that is fighting for me. So there are a lot of us who are gifted and we are still confused. You don't have to be confused. If you are experiencing any of these things that I've just said now, you need to just tell somebody. Talk to the next person, please. to someone reliable, because there are so many agents around, and these agents are out there in search of those who are spiritually gifted to lure you so that you use your gifts negatively. To someone reliable, I believe these people will help you so that you channel your gift towards the right way. But I want to tell you that answering your call is never easy. It is never rosy. You will find it difficult having peace of mind. You will be in constant spiritual battle for the rest of life until your time is up here on earth. But one thing I know is that it will be so difficult for man to bring you down. It will be so difficult for anything to cut your life short, except when you have soiled your hands. Allow God to fight your battle. No matter what comes your way, allow God to fight your battle. And for those who are gifted that whatsoever you say happens, please watch your statements. Watch what you say, especially when you are angry, because it is only when you are angry, whatever you voice out, that is what that spirit has heard. That is what the being that is watching over you has heard. Anything you say out of anger is what the being will do. And anything you say out of happiness is equally what the being will do for you. So watch your statements, whatever that comes out of your mouth, before you get so angry that will make you to talk what you are not supposed to talk. Calm down. Calm down. Okay? So, I'm going to stop here. I want to thank everybody that joined us so far. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I want to thank those who liked this live. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I want to thank those who share it. Thank you, and God bless you. I pray that God will bless us this night. For those who are in their night session, God will bless us this night. For those who are in the morning and in the afternoon, may God bless you all, and may He enrich you, enlarge your coast, and may His light shine upon each and every one of us. In Jesus' mighty name I have prayed. Amen. Thank you so much. Good night, and God bless.